everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all doing really, really well. So for some existing members, you might know that every Wednesday I like to do what I call a midweek check-in. And it's where I prompt you guys to just have a little bit of a think about how your week is actually going so that you can make an action plan to change it so that you can get to Sunday feeling really good. And so tonight what we're going to be talking about, it's kind of similar, but I'm happy that we are doing it on a Wednesday because Wednesdays are a really nice pivotal point in the week where you still have loads of time before the week is over to make any changes to get yourselves back on track, for example. So sometimes as the days go by, it can be really easy to fall off track and you can kind of like lose focus on what your goals are. We can maybe get to the middle of the week or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, maybe we're feeling a little bit lost and we're not as in tune with ourselves as we were at the start of the week or the start of the month or whatever it might be. And that is completely normal because life happens, okay? We can get stressed, we can get busy, things get thrown at us that can derail us. And what tonight's session is about is essentially giving you some tips to help change your week around, okay? To shift your mindset, to get back on track and to do it in no less than 15 minutes. I have got 4 really practical tips that will help you, okay? And again, not take much of your time, really, really easy tips to put into practice that can 100% help you realign yourself with your goals, figure out what it is you're working towards, create a new micro goal perhaps, and get to Sunday, get to the end of the week feeling great, feeling accomplished, no matter how it started, no matter how derailed, you got. It's always really wise and powerful to remember that you are always 100% in control and in the driver's seat. So using these 4 tips to just remind yourself of that and then make a conscious effort and a conscious plan just to set aside 15 minutes, okay, to have a think about how you can change things up and get to the week having smashed your goals is really amazing. So we're going to get stuck in, but in the meantime, please, do feel free to share in the chat right here, right now, how your week is going, what has been working for you, what hasn't been working for you, is it going well, is it not going so well? And regardless of what it is, even if your week is going well and you are super duper on track, or if it's not going great and you've been derailed a little bit, these 4 points, these 4 tips can still absolutely help you regardless of what it is. Because even if you're on a winning streak and the week's going really well, it's still nice to have that little plan in place on how you can continue, in the same way so that you get to Sunday, looking back on the week and just knowing that you really acted in your best interests. Okay, so let's get stuck in. I am going to give you these 4 points and I'm going to give you the amount of time that you should give to each point because I really mean it. When I say change your week in 15 minutes, shift your mindset in 15 minutes, that is all it takes, and it could potentially even take quicker, but I'm being generous. So point number 1 is to set yourself a micro goal. Now, I don't want you to spend more than 2 minutes on this. And by setting yourself a micro goal, what I mean is I want you to think about something that can hold you accountable for the rest of the week. So whether it is, I want to make sure that between now and Sunday, I get 2 workouts in. Or I want to make sure between now and Sunday, I try 1 or 2 new recipes. Any goal, it doesn't matter what it is, but something that is going to give you that impetus and that, motivation to work towards. Having goals, having micro goals especially, are really fantastic ways to keep us consistently engaged, consistently motivated, and consistently have something to work towards. Without goals, we are kind of just cruising. So setting that micro goal, taking 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes, and it could be anything, could be big, could be small, whatever you feel comfortable with, 2 minutes to think about a goal for the rest of the week. For me, I will be abroad, so my goal is to get at least between now and Sunday 3 workouts in. That's my goal, okay? And for me, I know that I can do that, but it's a little bit more challenging when I'm not at home. And so for me, that is something to work towards. Now, point number 2, which should only take you 5 minutes. Point number 2, which should only take you 5 minutes, is to write a to-do list. So depending on what micro goal you set for yourself, there are, of course, things that you're going to need to list out in order for you to achieve that goal. You can't just set yourself a goal and then just rely on your sort of willpower in the moment to do it. It's important to set yourself up for success by understanding what steps you need to take in order to achieve that goal. So for me, if I know that I want to get in 3 workouts between now and the end of the week, my to-do list will have things on it like figuring out where the closest gym is, to where I'm going to be staying, booking myself into some classes, checking the weather. If I want to go for a run, do I need to make sure I have weatherproof items with me if it's going to be raining? So writing that to-do list is really essential. And maybe if your goal is food oriented, making sure that you have, the right groceries that you need to try some new recipes or whatever it might be, but writing out that list and really getting hyper specific with it, because the more specific we are, the less room there is for error or for things going wrong. So writing that to-do list, and I've allotted 5 minutes to that because I think it's important to really take the time. Take the time to just think, okay, what do I need to do to make this goal happen? What are all the things I need to do to ensure that I stick to it and that I get to the end of the week and I've smashed it? So write that to-do list. And by the way, going back to point 1, you might have multiple goals. It doesn't just have to be one. It could be working out. It could be trying a new recipe. It could be one meditation. It could be a sleep goal, whatever it is. But just write them down and then figure out what you need to do to make that happen. So point number 3 is about opening your calendar and plotting everything out. And I'm giving you 6 minutes to do that, okay? So we've already gone 2 minutes, we've got 5 minutes, and now we're into something that's gonna take us 6 minutes, which is actually the longest thing that we're gonna do. And the reason I want you to open your calendar and schedule things in is because when you can see it in front of you, you're making time for it, you're assigning a time to it. So if it is working out and I say I'm gonna do that at 10 a.m. and it's there in my calendar, I'm more inclined to do that, right? As if in comparison to it not being there, is what I'm trying to say. I finally got there. When you see things in front of you, when they're written down, when they're scheduled in, you are more likely to do it. And don't just plot in the goal itself. Write everything down. So if it is trying out a new recipe or doing some batch cooking, don't just put in the time that you're going to batch cook. Set aside the time to write your grocery list, set aside the time to go do the shopping, set aside the time for some prep. Maybe you need to get some new Tupperware for all your batch cooking, whatever it might be. But plot it all in and hold yourself accountable to these things that you're scheduling as if they were an important meeting, because you are the most important thing in your life. So if you start to look at yourself and prioritizing your goals and your needs and your to-do lists and your actions as important as doing things for other people or doing things for work or whatever it might be, you're in a really wonderful position to achieve your goals because you are prioritizing you. And that is so important, because when you prioritize yourself, you're doing things for yourself that are going to make you feel good. And when you feel good, that flows through into so many different aspects of your life. So opening that calendar, taking a good 6 minutes to plot and schedule. And if it doesn't take you that long, fine. Let it take 5 minutes. However long you need, right? You, like I said at the start, you might be able to do these 4 points in less than 15 minutes, but here are the rough guidelines. So now moving on to point number 4, which I actually think is my favorite one, because it's just a little bit more, I was gonna say the word creative, but that's not really the word I'm looking for. It's just a little bit more fun, okay? And a little bit more exciting and aspiring. Is what I want you to do is take 2 minutes after you've set your micro goal, after you've figured out what your to-do list is and the things that you need to do to make that happen, after you've plotted everything in your calendar, take 2 minutes to just sit down, find a comfortable spot or wherever you are, close your eyes and picture yourself at the end of the week. Close your eyes and envision you at the end of the week having stuck to everything that you said you were going to do between now and Sunday. How do you feel? What does that feel like? What does that sense of accomplishment feel like to you? Get super specific about the emotions that you might feel: pride, joy, gratitude. a sense of achievement, a sense of accomplishment. Think about how you will feel and hold on to what that sensation and what that feeling might be, and use that to fuel you, use that to motivate you to get between now and Sunday sticking to what you have set out for yourself. And whether I said like at the beginning, whether it is staying on track, if your week's going really well, you can still do these steps. Okay, they're just there to support you, to help you. And if your week's not going so well, trust me, you can turn it around. We've all started the week, some weeks on the wrong foot, or we've all started on the right foot, and by Wednesday we're on the wrong foot, but you can get back to a good place, and it should not take you longer than 15 minutes. And I promise you, these 4 tips are super practical. They are not difficult to do, and they will help you. They will help you get to the end of the week feeling awesome. And that's what I want for you, okay? And I know that that's what you want for you as well. So as soon as you're done, as soon as you log off this live, take the time to just think about a few of those things, okay? And maybe start to ponder what you could do. And just go to sleep maybe with a few ideas in your mind. And if you want to finalize everything tomorrow morning, that's absolutely fine. But to recap, point number 1, and I will share these points on Connect so that you have them there as a very easy reference. Point number 1 is to set yourself a micro goal. Don't let it take longer than 2 minutes. The micro goal is personal. Let it be something that feels achievable. Of course, it's in a short period of time. That's why I've called it a micro goal. It doesn't need to be anything too grand. Number 2 is to write a to-do list. Anything and everything that you can think of that's going to help you achieve that goal, write it down. Number 3, open your calendar and give yourself 6 minutes to schedule in everything. Prioritizing yourself is the most important thing in your calendar. Not doctor's appointments, not meetings. Well, doctor's appointments are important too, but you get my idea. Scheduling yourself, okay? And you'll feel really good for it. And then number 4 is to have that moment to yourself where you just close your eyes and you have a little bit of, a visualization practice. And you envision you feeling happy and feeling good and having stuck to everything that you said you were gonna do and being organized and all the good stuff. Don't take much time to do it. Don't have to think too much about it, but just having a think in the first place is really, really valuable. So thank you very, very much for joining me this evening, and let me know how you get on with the rest of your week. My handle is @Coach Nat. For any feedback, any questions, any queries, any comments, I want to hear how you found these 4 steps. So let me know. Have a good one. Thanks, guys.